Well, hey guys, backyard scrapping here. Being that I'm still a little not a little, quite a bit incapacitated with this toe thing, I'm going to try and finish up these ram fingers that we started about 2.5 months ago, and I've had a billion projects since then and have never gotten to them. So being that they've been in here so long, we probably have some powder gold, and we probably have some nice little tiny fine pieces of foil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this out today, get this finished up. We're actually going to go back in time a little bit to where I started these, and I think we did I think a week or two later we did another little cut in. So this is going to be a little bit of a time travel video. But I am going to just siphon this off into a beaker, because this is all going to have to be filtered, because it's been in here so long and the foils have broken up that we're going to have a lot of little gold particles in there. So as not to lose anything, I will siphon this off of here without disturbing as much as I can, and then we're going to rinse and clean the little pieces of board that are left, and so on and so forth. But we're going to go back to the beginning now, which like I said, I only had planned on leaving these for about 4 or 5 weeks, but it's been over double that. So anyhow, we're going to get to it in this video finally. It may take me a little while to do it, because I'm actually not supposed to stay on my foot any longer than 15 minutes, and I pushed it the other day and paid for it. So I was back in the chair for 2 days. So anyhow, we're going to go ahead and step back. We'll start at the beginning, and then when we get caught up and get to this point, I will show you what we're doing and where we're at. So we'll see you all 2 months ago. I am still kind of basically unemployed, I guess, or off work or whatever, so I figured I'm going to start doing up some of my own hoarding stuff that I've been saving up for a while. So what we got going on here today is we have a kilogram of close cut ram. We're going to go ahead and get it going in our AP, and we're going to see how much gold we can get out of a kilo of ram. So let me get this put in the jar, get my acid measured out and such as that, and we'll get back at you guys in just a bit. Okay guys, we got our stuff here. We're going to go ahead and get this in. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually add some old AP or copper 2 to this. I'm not going to add any peroxide, but we're going to go ahead and just load this jar. And then we're going to do it in the sunshine. I'm not going to aerate it. My burners are actually occupied right now with a project for less. And that's going to take quite a while. So we're just going to let the sunshine work on these bad boys. It's almost too pretty to do, isn't it? Anyhow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover these with HCl. And then we're going to put some copper 2 in it. We're going to swirl it around a little bit, and we're going to let them go for a few days. In fact, I think I'll go ahead and pour some copper 2 in here right now, so that it mixes up as I'm doing it. That should be enough. And this actually just saves you from having to use peroxide, or to get things kicked off, to get it starting to work on that copper. I'm getting very low, as you can see, on acids. I have 1 jug of this left. I'm hoping I will be able to get some more. I don't know, because I really don't know if our hardware stores are going to be open. So that's officially my last bottle of HCl right now. Like I said, I hope that our hardware stores are going to be open, or I'm not even going to be able to process anything. I hope everybody's doing good out there and staying safe. I am only going places that I absolutely have to go. If I don't have to go, I don't. I mean, regretfully, we have a couple appointments that we absolutely have to take my dad to, and with him being 92, I really am not comfortable taking him out, but I have no choice. So anyhow, we're going to get this in here. We got it good and covered. Hopefully that's going to be enough. And I'll show you where we're going to put it in just a second. So we'll be right back at you. Okay guys, I just wanted to show you that we have our jar sitting out here in the sun. Like I said, I've got some other things going on here. We're actually doing some pins for that less scent. This one's, I rotate these off of the burners, but these are actually, I'm going to leave them on the burners to try to get them to go as quick as we can. But in the meantime, we're going to work on this stuff. Like I said, I don't have a burner open for it right now, so we're just going to let the sun do the heating, and we're in no hurry. We don't have to work. We got nowhere to go, so let's recover some gold. So I will get back with you guys when we are ready to clean that up, because there's really nothing that's going to happen between now and then. So we'll be back at you guys in a bit. Hey guys, I just wanted to check in with you. So we're just going to leave them go. I think they've been out here about 5 days now, maybe 6 days. I'm just going to continue to let it go. I'm in no hurry, so it doesn't matter. And we'll get back at you guys when we're ready to clean this up, or to just touch base with you again. I'm going to let it go a few more days, and then I'm going to try and get a good heavy rod in there and stir them up and see how many foils come loose. But they are starting to break loose pretty good now. So, hey, not working. We got nothing but time right now. So, we'll be back at y'all in a bit. Okay, we've got our siphon hose here. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to go ahead and fill this up with some water. Up there is our little our gallon jar with our foils in it, and we're going to just drain as much as we can off into here, and then we're going to filter it off. I do need to get a clothespin. I will be right back at you. Okay, we got our clothespins just in case we need them. That little popping noise you hear is actually the distiller going. I am actually still processing my AP and distilling the acid out of it. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, we've got this hose filled with water. We're going to go ahead and stick it in here. Try not to disturb as much as we can. Let it go. And I'm just going to clip it to this thing. As you can see, that solution is almost like tar. It's really, really, really saturated. I am presuming all these foils are, you know, pretty much loose. We may have a couple that were buried in there that aren't, but I have to sit down, so it's amazing what you have to, how you have to figure out how to do stuff when you do something stupid and hurt yourself. But anyway, we're going to go ahead. You don't need to sit and watch this jar fill up. We're going to go ahead and get this filtered off as much as we can. Then we're going to go through the, like I said, the straining process, because I'm sure there's powdered gold in there, and there's some really fine little broken up foils. And then we're going to clean this stuff up and get it ready to refine and see what we got out of I believe we started with 1 kilo of ram fingers. So we will be back at you guys in just a bit. Okay guys, you can see we got it filtered off. I'm actually just going to reach over and I'm going to clean this hose out. We did get a little bit of gold foils coming through. I could see them. So, and I know I see a lot still on some of these, but we didn't shake this up. So I'm actually going to go get my rinse tub now. Got this hose rinsed out. Okay guys, the next part of this is pretty self-explanatory. You want to try and use as little water as possible when you're cleaning your stuff up, because you're just going to be creating more waste. And you're going to want to have gloves on, because this water is going to have, you know, copper 2 in it. It's going to still have some acid in it maybe, you know, so you definitely want to have some gloves on and something to grab them with. And all I'm going to do is take a little at a time. Now, before we even go any further than this, there's going to be a bunch out there. So why don't you just shake up the jar? Why don't you just do this? Why don't you just take away? There's no right or wrong way to do this stuff. It's how you choose to do it. If you want to shake up the jar and deal with making more copper 2 that you basically are going to have to deal with, that's fine. I right now have to sit down because my toe is banging again and I've already been on it longer than I'm supposed to. So I'm going to do it the old slow way. I'm just going to get a few of these at a time, take them out of the jar, and I'm going to drop them in here. If there's any foils on them, just mix them up a little bit. If there's any foils on them, I'm going to set them aside for the next round. And this will loosen, this little bit will loosen any foils. Then I can reach in, pick them up, look at them, and put them into my waste tub. I'm doing it this long, slow way because I can. I mean, right now I need to be sitting on this stool. I actually got to figure out a way to prop my foot up. And so I'm going to do it this way. I have time to do it. So I'm not going to put you through that because this is probably going to take an hour or two. So I'll get back at you when we've got it down to just the foils left in the jar and maybe a few pieces of the board material. So until then, we will go to work. So we'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, we are about well, probably about a third, maybe a little more, maybe getting close to halfway through our sticks. We're not even getting, we haven't even touched the bottom of the bottle yet where most of the foils are, but I just wanted to show you inside this pan the foils that are in there. And that's just what was stuck. In other words, that's the stuff that I had to brush off. I actually take this toothbrush, and it's got one of those gum massagers on the back of it, and you can actually just rub, you know, what's stuck to the foils right off. So that right there is a pretty good amount of foils. I mean, we've done pins before and not gotten that amount of foils. Also, another thing I'm going to show you here, you can't see it here, but I'm going to take some pictures and show you on some of these pieces. We even got the little tiny, you know, there's little, you can't see it in here because I don't have this camera set on close-up, but there's little teeny tiny holes that are gold plated inside. Well, by leaving this that long, it even loosened up those little holes, and a lot of times that's what you see in the bottom here, is that looks like sand is actually coming out of those little tiny holes. Let me see if I can put this on close up and get a better look. Hang on just a sec. Okay, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this any better, and I really don't want to drop my camera in the water, but if I really get right there, you can see all that little bitty sand looking stuff. That's all those little tiny holes, the gold coming out of those little tiny holes. So an advantage to that is to letting them sit that long is that it actually freed up even that little bit of, you know, those little tiny pinholes of gold. So I just wanted to show you that. I actually got to go run and do a couple chores right now, so we'll be back at you in a bit. Okay guys, I got back from doing my chores. As you can see, we still got, you know, half or 2/3 of these guys to go. There's no point in dragging this video out anymore. I'm going to go ahead and just call it here and call this part 1. When I get these all cleaned up and we get to the foils and such as that, we will start the refine. So that will be part 2. So everybody take care. I'm going to go in and prop my foot up, see if I can get my toe to quit banging, and we will see you guys in the next video.
I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.